So this is a kind of how-to, or how I did it. Not necessarily the best way to do it, but this is the way that ends up working pretty well. So the chassis is a $50 remote control car from Toy World. Nothing special. I just grabbed the cheapest one that had a flat top, so I could mount shit to it. There's plentiful room inside for grubbins. That stick on the front there is so you can see which way is forward. Nothing special. It's got a little DC motor in the front to drive the steering, and it's got one motor in the back and a gearbox, and then a control board which I've wired stuff to take control of the stuff. The guts of it are laid out here. There is a camera. This is a Wi-Fi and Ethernet pan tilt camera. It cost $60 delivered. That's Australian dollars. Runs off 5 volts, 2 amps. So that's probably the most expensive component. It inside has an ARM7. Runs Linux. ARM7 processor with like 4 meg of flash in there, so it's got a fair bit of spare space in there to put your own stuff in. I wrote my own program that runs on there, compiled it under Debian x86 and wrote it onto there via an Arduino. Pretty much rebuilt the firmware for it with my custom program inside. So coming out of that, we've got serial line and power. The power runs down to a 5 volt regulator, which is powered from this 2-cell lithium polymer battery. The serial line goes to an Arduino, yay! And it talks a protocol, a very simple protocol back and forth. The Arduino just listens to anything that comes out of the serial port that starts with AR. So ARF5 is go forward at half speed. AF9 is go forward at full speed. And that's how it controls the directions and stuff. Now, I've written a piece of software in Python that sends those signals over Wi-Fi to the camera. When you press WSAD on the keyboard, it sends those signals via the serial or via Wi-Fi through the serial link and into the Arduino. My Python program also talks the PTZ protocol that this uses, so you can steer the camera around with the Python program also. So the Arduino then takes this serial data and then it turns it into forward, backward, left, right signals. And so there's 4 of these wires that run to the car. And the car, these cables are just wired directly onto the control board, so it bypasses the controller that it came with. So as you can see, I've thrown the old controller in the bin. So now, the only thing that controls the motors is the Arduino. So it's just got a couple of wires coming out to the motor, make it go forward and backwards, and then another couple of wires that come out to the steering. It's got its own internal 4AA batteries that run the power for the motor. I'll probably replace those with power from the LiPo later on. And there's also a ground line because you drive the controller by driving it to high. So you need to take that current back somewhere. And that's about it. It's not very complicated. The only technically difficult thing was to get the stuff compiling for that. That was a bit of a mongrel, but otherwise, pretty straightforward.